Welcome to another of the Builders Agency Lessons. This week's lessons revolve around sharing and caring. And that is in the realm of business and trying to grow a business, going through all the struggles of that process. In any business, there's ups and downs, there's failures, there's wins, hopefully. But there's a lot to running a business. And especially if you're a small business, you don't have a huge team, you don't have an executive team to take care of elements of the business or to talk to. For me, I have a team, but it's mainly a team that's helping me in areas besides the actual overall management of the business itself, right? The finances. And I'm not at that stage where I have somebody actually helping me manage the business itself, except my dog. Once in a while, we have a discussion about things. But it is what it is. So in different growth stages, you have different people, right? And slowly at some point, I'll probably be at that stage where I'll have somebody to bounce ideas off of or to manage certain aspects of that. But in the meantime, you can leverage other people's knowledge and talk to people and get advice, listen, get ideas. Maybe you didn't even know you needed that idea and somebody offers up an idea. Those things happen through conversations. Now, for me, those conversations can happen in a number of ways. Sometimes it's on a podcast. Sometimes I'm listening to a podcast and somebody mentions something and I dig into it further because, oh, that's an interesting concept. Well, maybe I could apply that. Sometimes it's just random conversations with partners. So in my business, my agency, I have numerous partners, 8 other agencies or other agency friends, right? And we have conversations around projects, around clients, but sometimes just conversations within that framework or outside of it. One of my agency partners, we decided that once a month we're going to get together and just chat about our business because we want to do more together. So we're trying to figure out where we can, what we can do to expand our relationship and do more together. In this last conversation, we're talking about stuff and we just got onto some random things. And he was talking about a lead system he's using. And I have actually been looking for a particular type of lead system to generate leads, to do more outbound. And him and one of his partners, other partners, are looking at something. So I'm taking a look at what they were using, but it was a great solution. I'll probably talk about it. I'd like to talk about things after I use them. I'm not going to recommend something I haven't used yet, but it looks very promising. So there may be a day to talk about it. So that was an example, but I reciprocated by actually introducing him to something he hadn't didn't know about. A book, actually, a system called Profit First, because we were talking about what we could do together and stuff. And I yelled out Profit First and I knew he didn't even hear about it. So afterwards I sent him a link to the book, but it's a really great book about, it's just a system to manage your own finances, your business's finances and how you can, it's a whole thing. I should probably have a whole thing on it, a whole video on it, maybe an article someday. But it's great. It's something that I sort of on some level used since day one. I've always been profitable, but which is odd in business, right? Who can say that? Some people can. But it was something that this last spring, I implemented even further with this system. And it fits right into what I already my thought process, but gives me a better framework to expand on that and do more and actually pay myself. But I introduced that to him and he was all excited and he's looking at that. But that happens through conversations, just talking. You go into a conversation, you don't have any agenda necessarily to talk about anything specific sometimes, or you have an agenda but within that, you have these branches that you branch out into other things. And just, hey, I was looking for this and, oh, I know somebody that does this or whatever. But that is key to growing and getting better at your business or anything you're doing, is to not like live in a bubble. You know, if you are solo and you just want to come to work every day and not talk to anybody, you know, you're limiting yourself in terms of ideas and being inspired by others. And, you know, I know some of us are in the spectrum from between introvert and extrovert. You know, I'm somewhere in between, probably. I kind of float between them. Sometimes I like to be left alone and do my own thing, but at the same time, I don't mind being a little outward. But the benefits of it are so profound. You know, I have so many great business friends in different types of businesses and stuff. It doesn't even have to be the same. Like, I talk to agency friends that we come, like that Profit First. I learned about Profit First. That was introduced to me by a different partner. I don't even know. I almost feel like, I don't know where it even came up. I think he just offhand like mentioned it. And then I looked into it, but it was working really well for him. I've applied it. It's working well for me. Now that goes on, you know, now I've shared that with another partner. You know, you want to help your network, you know, not just, we always talk about helping our network, you know, helping each other's businesses or like referrals and all this other stuff, you know, working together and projects and all that. But it's also knowledge, right? It's not just, I'm going to send you some business. It's, let me help you succeed. Let me give you this piece of information that might help you do better in your business. Because if you succeed, you know, you're helping your business, your family, your employees and all that stuff. You help me with something. It's the same thing. You know, we all are working together and growing together. And it's just a band of friends, right? And that's how I kind of really like to think about it. And again, it can happen. Those conversations can happen in different contexts. Like for me, sometimes it's a podcast. Sometimes it's, you know, maybe at an event. Maybe it's at privately on some conversation like I just had this past week. And that is, I think that's so critical to kind of, networking is just not just about, like I said, just not about just the business itself, about getting business or help, you know, it's also about building a network of friends to help each other. And, you know, so all these ideas, like, yeah, I get referrals too. In fact, at noon today, I'm having a meeting with somebody that was referred to me by a friend of this podcast. Somebody was on this podcast. So, they referred somebody, and that somebody has a client that needs a website. So we're going to talk about that today. That happens too, right? And that's awesome. So networking definitely works, right? But it's also about the knowledge sharing. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. I hope you found it interesting and you're wiser for listening in today. Take care. Have a good one.